welcome to the very first pilot show, let's call it, for Plus Your Business. And this is going to be a community-based show, which includes today some of the moderators, but in the future, hopefully, you, as we want to show what we're doing in Plus Your Business and how it's influencing what you do on Google Plus and how you're getting results from what you're doing, from the information within the community and building the relationships for you and your business. So it's a different format today, which you're going to see what we're up to in a few moments. And thank you for everybody watching. And I know there's a lot of curiosity about as to what we're going to do and why this is a different sort of hangout. So on that note, I'm going to pass. Well, I'm going to come across to Travis, hopefully in the studio, where you'll see a little more of what we're doing.
Hi there. How are we doing today, Martin and the PYB gang?
Yeah, doing great.
Good, great.
Good. So I can see you there, and I'm on the television screen. Is that what we're doing? Oh, I'm jumped back. So this is going to be the fun today. So what you guys are seeing at the end isn't necessarily what we see. We see Stan Bush there, and because he laughed, he jumped into the hangout screen there. And Travis is just up the road in San Diego as well. But we thought this would be a fun way to show you what we're looking at for the show over the coming weeks and coming months. So should we do some introductions, Stan, and bring some of the other team members up? Oh, sorry, Travis? Hey, it's all happening.
Go ahead, Stan.
Oh, I'm Stan, and I am the combination community concierge / welcome wagon for Plus Your Business on the Google Plus side of things. And my main job and main function is to make sure that the people that come into the community are welcomed, and that we find out what they do and how we might be able to help them in what they're trying to figure out with Google Plus. And then with their introductions, it allows me to find out what they do so that possibly I can help people find them. And that's what I do. And I love it.
And you've done a great job. Shall I add a bit in there? I mean, what Stan's been doing over the last, I think we're now at, what, 5 weeks or 6 weeks, since we shut the community door, in a way, so that we could find out who was joining. Because when you have a public community and you don't have it as a request to join community, anybody can turn up and you don't know they're there. It's very, very hard to track. So Stan has been interacting with people very much on the front end and welcome people into the community, but also, for instance, saying, hey, it'd be great if you joined, but if you could change your blue head picture into a profile picture, will help people to relate. So it's straight from the start. We're building relationships and hopefully improving people's Google Plus experience. And Stan's done an amazing job within that time, and I know people have noticed it, and the engagement's up. And as we go into the academy phase, which I know that Travis has got prepared, we're going to show you something on that in a little while. It's going to make a big difference to how people feel about Plus Your Business. So well done, Stan.
Thank you.
You always like it when I pay you compliments. I know what you like.
Yes, I know. I do. I'm a sucker for it.
But it's true. It's been very good.
Well, I think one of the things that people are trying to do when they come into a community like that is that they're trying to find some help, and you know, I love helping people. I mean, that's really what I like doing. And so, as far as what I'm doing there in the community, and what I think the Google Plus, the Plus Your Business community brings to you, is the ability to find something that you like and stick with it and do that thing.
Yeah. Great. Good. Now, should we pass across? Who should we come to next? I don't know who's down the bottom. Mike Alton looks very smiley. How are you, Mike?
Great, Martin. How are you doing?
Very good. Now, I don't know, because Travis is so much in control of the tech that's behind the scenes. I don't know if you've just sprung up on the screen or not, but let's just assume you have. So, Mike, what have you been up to within the community over the last few weeks?
Well, for anyone who hasn't met me, I'm Mike Alton. I'm one of the moderators and a consultant with Plus Your Business. And I like jumping in there with Stan and helping to answer questions, because he's absolutely right. Most of the people that, at least that I've seen, jumping into the community, they're looking for specific help. They may not know right off the bat what their question is or what help they're looking for, but that's what they're looking for. And so I've jumped in to help and answer some questions, and love getting on the phone and some hangouts with folks and teaching them how to use blog content, how to post to Google Plus, those kinds of topics.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, if you don't know Mike is a brilliant blogger. I mean, he writes as much or more than I do, but also the way he works with Hootsuite in particular, and uses that as a distribution mechanism, both on Google Plus and on Twitter. That's something, if you want to know more, then get in touch with Mike, because he's the man for that. In fact, you've got a book coming out very soon.
That's right, very, very soon.
Cool. So we'll be announcing that in Plus Your Business as well. So look forward to it. That's great. Thank you, Mike. And coming across, let's come to Marilyn next. How you doing, Marilyn?
I am great. Got great weather out here. Of course, myself and my partner George Cohn are corporate video producers. We're right here in Silicon Valley and actually in Mountain View, home of the Google mothership. And I'm very, very excited to be a moderator of PYB. And one of the initiatives that George and I are working on is to connect PYB through to others via LinkedIn. And we have a LinkedIn PYB page, and we're starting to populate that, and we're going to be reaching out to people. It's a separate thing, but yet there's a lot of content that's spread via LinkedIn, because it is business-based. And, here we are, Plus Your Business. And people here in Silicon Valley and, well, throughout the world, actually, are so interested in what's going on with Google Plus. And they dip in to LinkedIn and so, they get their toes wet, and hopefully they'll be joining us then on Google Plus and getting active and getting engaged.
I think that's it. I think that yourself and George, you are connected to networks that don't really know the benefits of Google Plus. And this is what prompted. And I said, well, why don't we look at LinkedIn? Because you've already got the networks there. And I'm noticing this over the last, 2 months or so, there's more and more people that are open to talking, but they don't know where to start. And that's really what we want with Plus Your Business, is that to be a landing place where you can support. And I'll tell a little bit more about the levels in a second, but it's a way of people feeling that they've got trusted information and the support there. So that's going to be really exciting. It's great.
Right. And Martin, my peeps are, everyone, of course, it's all inclusive, but women business owners and smaller entrepreneurial groups, and where I've been very active here in the Bay Area. So, I'm hoping to reach out to those folks. It's and nonprofits, of course. My heavens, it's such a perfect match.
Yeah.
To be on
that's great. And the opportunity for them, whether it be using the Hangouts, or whether it be understanding search, or whether it be fundraising and campaigns, there's a lot that can be done. But it's a case of people starting, isn't it? And they've got to know that the benefits there, and that's where the trust that you'll have with them, because of the existing relationships, work so well. That's great. Now, thank you. Now, before I come to John and to George, I'm going to jump back to the studio, Travis, because I want to have a chat with you. I know people are asking, what is going on? How are we doing this? So, do you want to explain what's happening in the studio? Just a quick overview. So, obviously now I can see myself on the screen. I'm talking to you. How did this come about? What were you up to?
What we started to do was mess around with a few different programs that started off actually with it was a VJ program called VDMX, and from there we've gone into a couple other programs, but basically kind of tweaking the programs so that they show up, or so that the Hangout source shows up as well as multiple cameras, and so we're able to use a live switcher and broadcast all of this live and have complete control, even bring in the graphics that you're seeing with the lower thirds and what have you. So
if I speak now, so just keep it on that wide out, so there I am. So if I speak, then you bring me back into there. Now, Stan, if you speak, or Marilyn, there we have it. So you can flip between basically any of the film strip, and you're doing that, and we can move across. So that's an additional thing. Now, I have done a very quick demo with you in the studio itself, and I'm going to be looking at coming up and doing a couple of shows with you there. I mean, this is the equivalent really to a set, a chat show, a business interview type set. I mean, is there anything different about what you've done, or is that a good way of summarizing it?
No, I'd say very much so. I mean, it's much like a newsroom or a miniature newsroom. We'll be able to have the ability to even key out the background eventually, and do a lot of things that you see on sportscasts or even a morning talk show, what have you. And so we can do and use the same sort of formats that you see on regular network television, and not cost what it does the networks.
Well, I think it's great, and we're showcasing it really for Plus Your Business today. And the intention is, if the feedback is positive, which at the moment, let's see, we're on the thread, I think we're flowing, then we should be doing this once a week for the duration. And as I mentioned from the start, we're going to be bringing in people from the community and telling their stories and showcasing them over time. So I've got a few things I want to show people in a little minute. I want to come to a couple of the other members of the team. We had Marilyn last, so let's dive to George Cohn. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good, always good to see you.
Yeah.
So how have you been over the last few weeks? What have you been up to?
Well, we've, our business is, it's a small business, so we sometimes we get surges of being very busy, and then sometimes we can catch up with other stuff and do more business development. But I'd say overall the business climate is picking up quite a bit, and this is a really good time for something like Plus Your Business for anyone.
Yeah. Good, and you're not wearing your glass today, but you are a glass explorer.
I'm a glass explorer. In fact, it's funny, on that one day, the 15th, when anybody could get glass, I actually got involved in 2 presentations about glass. One was, a local Rotary Club, and I gave a talk to them, about glass and about its social impact. And the other was somebody wanted to interview me for a little news, a news video that they were putting out on their network, and so it was a big glass day. And that's
you've been evangelizing on glass, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even evangelizing, because I don't really. It's not a thing for me to convince other people that it's good or bad, but merely to talk about my personal experience with it, because that's what people really want to know about.
Yeah, so it's the enthusiasm. I mean, it's the same approach that we've got with Google Plus as well, isn't it? It's just do what we do, enjoy what we're doing, and people seem to respond.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to Marilyn's comments about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn's considered to be the go-to social media for business.
Yeah.
It has a lot of capabilities. Now, of course, we're all Google Plus fans, and we're not trying to poach anybody from LinkedIn. I think it's more like a partnership where these capabilities can work hand in hand, and that's what we're really interested in pursuing here.
Yeah, no, it's great. And the other way of looking at it is that we've got outreach posts. So the plusyourbusiness.com site is where the content is. If people want conversations, then it's great to have them wherever those outreaches are.
Exactly.
And that's LinkedIn's one. And in time, we may look at others. I mean, Twitter's going really well. And obviously, 95% of my time's on Google+. So it's a case of building the team and building those conversations up. That's great. So thank you, George. Let's now come across to John. Now, John's a new member of the Plus Your Business team. You may or may not know him yet. He is the photos guy. I'm going to let him introduce himself. And you're in Ireland right now, John?
Yes, I'm in Northern Ireland. Thank you very much. Based just outside Belfast. I'm a new moderator in the PYB team. And I'm also what's called a Google Trusted Photographer. So I'm one of those guys that goes around and extends Google Street View off the streets and into businesses, hotels, etc., and these then can be these are then located in your Google Plus local business page. So they're very much integral in the whole Google Plus experience.
And you wrote a brilliant blog, a very well-received blog on the Plus Your Business site, which is one of the things that connected us. Just something I want to just to mention is that if people are interested in writing for plusyourbusiness.com, then we have a process in place for vetting, which always sounds like animals. Anyway, but that will find out whether we're looking for the content and your approach as well. So do get in touch if you want to talk with me about that. And so, John, that was something which had launched. This is the thing. Over the last couple of weeks, it's changed, hasn't it?
That's right. It used to be called Google Business Photos. When it launched in 2012, there was a few pilots running around America in 2011, but in 2012 it launched proper as Google Business Photos, and there was a lot of tweaking taking place as the blog suggests, and it kind of came of age there within the last month, and it was renamed, rebranded as Google Business View. And it's very well received. It can be used in so many different ways for your business to engage with your potential customers, let them feel like they know who you are and what your business place is like, and I'm really part of the community to help people kind of make decisions about whether it's good for them, what sort of way it could be shot to get the most out of it. Because I'm ranked in the top 10 in Europe, Middle East, and Asia, I've got a lot of experience of this, so I'm quite happy to pass that experience on to the Plus Your Business community.
That's wonderful. Thanks. And I know that you're involved with Stan as well on the community management side, and we're going to be sort of building that up. So I really appreciate your support there too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. And great stuff. Thank you very much.
No, great. Thanks, John. Last person on the film strip, Douglas. Before we come back to the studio, how are you, Douglas?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. And you're in Florida?
I am. Miami Beach.
Miami Beach. Very cool. And would you like to let everyone know what you're doing with the community and what you do more generally?
Yes. So in the community, my area of expertise is Google Apps for Business. And I am a Google Apps certified deployment specialist. So I help people to learn what Google Apps for Business is and help them to transition, if they're not using Google Apps for Business, from perhaps Gmail or Outlook to Google's business solution.
Wonderful. Thank you. So if people have questions for Douglas around that, then get in touch either directly with him and just saw us on the show so he knows that that it's working, that we're bringing people together. And otherwise, if there's questions, just drop them into the Plus Your Business community. And as always, we'll do our best to pick them up and to expand the knowledge and share what we know as well. So thank you, Douglas. That's great. And back to the studio. I like that. Back to the studio. Travis.
Hey there.
Hey there. Now, Travis, should we talk about the Academy a little?
Yeah, sure. Would you like us to bring up the...
Yeah, let's see. So first of all, thank you to everybody for the feedback and watching. This is the pilot, so we'll be watching later on the replay and see how the tech has performed. Hoping it's a very different experience, and based upon your feedback, it is a very different experience, which is what we planned. And what I've asked Travis to do is to have the diagram for the Academy available, and there we go. That actually is the cat gift one, which we're going to do as the punchline later. As opposed to the other, but we can talk about that one as well, Travis. That's okay. That wasn't the one that we're looking at. Live TV, folks.
No, not the one you wanted.
Not the one. It's okay. We can talk about that. I'll tell you about that now. So the Academy has launched with Plus Your Business around about 2 weeks ago, and that is 5 levels of competence and 3 levels of instructor. And the idea is to have a process that people can go through whereby they learn the basics all the way through to the more tricky stuff. For instance, campaign management, learning how things trend, and so on. So that process is something that we're just starting to roll out. And those of you that have applied for the Academy, just to show interest, will have received emails on that. And if you want to apply, then it's plusyourbusiness.com/academy. And what we're doing is looking at accrediting based upon competency framework, which shows exactly what you need at each of the levels in order to achieve that level. Once we've done that, I know that we're getting a lot more inquiries and we need to build a bigger team. So people who are interested in becoming a Plus Your Business coach, consultant, trainer, this is the process that they'll go through. And the aim is to bring the community with us. and that everybody benefits from this process. So it's a big vision. It's going to take a couple of years in order for it to really turn into the full fruit. But I would have said that you're going to see over the next 3 months the programs, the competencies, and hopefully for those that want to be included and involved, then you'll be able to join and get started. So it's very exciting. Now, what Travis showed you was the Academy, which I then did as a very tongue-in-cheek version of this, about how to get lots of views with cat gifts. Because when they changed the system so that people were very interested in how many views were had on their pages, I thought I would do a tongue-in-cheek version of the Academy, and we have this. And I have some more cat gift marketing, very light-hearted stuff, because with Plus Your Business, hopefully you're going to know by now, you're going to have a bit of fun, and we're going to learn things along the way. It's not going to be all dry, folks. So that was the Academy, and you're going to hear more about that soon. But the Academy is the one to sign up for if you're interested in either improving your Google Plus skills, getting accreditation and badges, as well, and potentially turning Google Plus into something which is for you as a business. Because Stan Bush, you have thoughts on this, because you've seen what I've been putting together, and you got quite excited the other day when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I think that it's going to bring a lot of value to the Plus Your Business community and to its members, because there are that thing is deep. I mean, you can go through that Academy and look at and learn about just about anything that you want, not just about anything that you really want to learn about Google Plus. It's very, very deep. I like the way it's set up because it really allows everybody to interact with each other, which is what I just love. I mean, the fact that everybody's going to be able to learn who that person is that specializes in what. I love it.
Yeah. And I think that this format of Hangout, because we want to raise the whole, as the tide rises, it lifts all boats, as they say, and we want everybody to come along for the ride that's interested in using Google Plus for business. And particularly if they're looking for interaction with clients, we're going to have the systems in place that will allow them to learn and then be able to earn through that. And we are going for the most professional outfit that we can create between us. And it's going to be a network business. You know, nobody can do this on their own, and that's the most exciting thing about what we've got in this room and the extended team that couldn't make it today. But we have Mark Traphagen and Ronnie Binzer and David Amerland, and then we've got Coleman and Thomas, and there's lots of other people. And Martin Holmes is helping with running my Twitter account, except for me commenting and tweeting back. So there's a big team that's being built now around Plus Your Business, and I get excited because I can see that together we can make a difference and do what we love doing.
No,
right.
Is the first level of the Academy, is that available yet for folks?
The level 1 is what we're doing for any individual. An individual was saying is somebody that hasn't got any staff, somebody that isn't effectively turning themselves into a business there. It's going to be free. So people can apply, and as long as they fall into that category, it's free. If they are a business, and counting the business not as a one-man band, but have a member of staff or a part of a business and are using Google Plus for business, then there is a charge for level 1. That then allows us to keep the level 1 for free for everyone else. So over the next, I'd say, 2 weeks or so, we should now have that on the site as to what are the things that are included for level 1. And there's going to be a certain amount of group work, a certain amount of one-to-one, there's knowledge tests, and everybody needs to meet a full list of competencies for that. By the time that comes out, we should have level 2 and level 3 ready so people can see the initial pathway. So it won't be long now. We're almost there.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good. There's been lots of spreadsheets, I can tell you.
I can
Lots of. Yeah. What should we include? You know, where does knowing how to share a circle fit, for instance? You know, and these are level 1 things. Knowing how the platform works really is level 1. But then you start to get into the complexities, because it's not just about Google Plus as the platform. It's about how it interacts with, or how Google Plus goes throughout YouTube, or about Google Drive. Then you start to get into the higher level stuff, how does the information that we are sharing here and the people that we're engaging with here influence search? So that then starts to take us up into the higher realms of the levels. But also page management, community management. That's not just button clicking. How to change a member into a moderator. That's a process. You can learn that straightforward. What about the things that myself and Stan and now John Lynch are doing around the community management? Why was the decision made to close the doors? What's the effect of that? What else is going on with engagement? How that then turns into business over time. These are the things that we're going to take people through. So we've written out all of the competencies and are going through and saying, okay, well, how are we then going to make sure that people are either learning or then applying or know what to do when the point comes for them to apply so that they can achieve those levels of competencies. And then it's not just about competencies, it's about the person. Because they're going to be representing Plus Your Business, and if they are a Plus Your Business trainer, coach, consultant, and if they have badges and they have specialities in like Google Semantic Search or blogging or so on, then we want to make sure that they are representing it well. So there's a certain amount of contact time to understand what we're trying to do, team, and include people in that process. And that's why, as I keep saying, it's not about one person. This is why it's about all of us here building Plus Your Business together. And I think that's what's got people's imagination now within the community. They can see that this is an exciting time for Google Plus, and also potentially a very exciting time for them getting involved.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I particularly like about it, the competency thing, to be able to know that when when somebody comes into the community and they're looking for a solution for something, to know that this is the best person to send them to or to connect them with based off of a lot of factors, like if they're in the same kind of a business genre of business, or if they are in the if they're even in the same city, because you can see that stuff from a community manager standpoint. Now, that's the part I really like, is being able to connect those people that have things that go together.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that's the thing that's happened, is that we couldn't do that until we closed the community doors. Because we couldn't get tight enough relationships, and you've been welcoming people on the post, welcoming new members, and there will be some more announcements on how we're going to be using some other technology within Plus Your Business, so that will come maybe next week or the week after. But all in all, it's coming together, folks. You guys have done a great job, and I think we've got a lot more to do that's going to benefit the members. But I know from the thread, Travis, I would say that you've done a great job on the pilots, so thank you for setting this up, and thanks to the team that are in the background, and there. I don't know if the team want to give a shout out as well. There we go.
They said out and woo.
There we go. Well, we'll be introducing people maybe even into the studio one day. You never know, because there's a lot than you may realize. So this has been a very different show. Before we wrap up, I just want to come back down to the film strip, and we can do our final thoughts and message to the community. What would you like to say? Starting with Douglas.
Yes. So I'm just really looking forward to helping anyone that needs any assistance or has any questions. Specifically, my area of expertise is Google Apps for Business, which is a specific suite of applications designed by Google for business. And I'm also a business consultant, so I'm here to help.
Excellent. Thank you. And George?
Yeah, well, I want to welcome all business people, and in particular small businesses, into this community. I think it's really amazing to see it grow day by day.
That's great. Thank you, George. And before we come to Marilyn, George Sepich as well deserves a big shout out, because he's one of my best buddies on here. A great guy, but he's been support in the background. He's been helping with the website and just generally around. So I'm not sure, George, if you're watching this, but really appreciate your help and support. Thank you. And Marilyn?
Well, I just wanted to to thank everybody, for being here. And we'll be excited to see people joining the LinkedIn group on on the Plus Your Business on LinkedIn. And I'm looking forward to more women on Plus Your Business. There are actually other women and some very
I'm glad you mentioned
folks, yes.
Rebecca Radis as well. The team is growing. So Rebecca joined us a little while ago, and she'll be in on future shows. So you're not alone anymore, Marilyn.
And that's a high-powered. She's a high-powered, high-profile gal. So she's great.
She's great. So, okay, thank you. And Mike Alton?
Yeah, I want to say I'm really excited about this academy. And one thing that I wasn't sure if it was clear or not, but that I was really impressed with, you and I talked about this the other day, Martin, was that this isn't just a course where you're going to go through it and say, okay, yeah, fine, I did that. There's going to be actual verification, certification. You have to complete it. You have to prove competency in order to have gone through this and be successful. And I think that means something, and that's a big difference between some of the other courses that you might see out there.
That's the thing. So I'm going to pick up on that point because I had a couple of conversations with people yesterday. The first thing is, yes, there's no point us putting together a framework and a structure and just giving people certificates. That's just a waste of time. So we're going to make sure that people are really good at each of the levels. That's what we want. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, it is Plus Your Business, so it is a business, and it's going to be helping businesses. So it's free for the individuals at level 1, but there are charges for businesses at level 1 and for people going through levels 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, some people may say, well, I don't have any money, so what's the options? Now, the aim with that is that we're looking at a skills swap structure, where there are lots of jobs to be done in the community. In fact, Hillary Snyder is helping out in this capacity to build up a weekly roundup. So we're doing that now starting on Sunday for Plus Your Business. So that's one of the tasks that she's doing, and we've done a deal on the amount of time. Now, I was talking with somebody about the amount of time, and they said, oh, well, I'd be quite happy to spend half an hour for those 3 levels of courses. And I said, that's not worth anything. That's just, that isn't the way it's going to be. So if people don't have the time, and they don't have the money either, then we might find that we've got a challenge. But we want to open it so that people that do have the time and want to contribute to the community, the same as everyone's contributing to the community for free, until we can be interacting with the clients that can then pay for the services, the coaching, training, consultancy that we have, for page management, for community management. But we all have to be at a level that gives the clients confidence. And this is where the badges come in, that we can show the badges on people's profiles and on people's websites, and they can put the badges on them that shows that they've attained a certain level. So all of it is planned to give trust that we've got the abilities that we say that we have. So thanks, Mike. That was a very useful reminder, and that is the plan. We want to make it tough, and we want to make it so that people are much better at using Google Plus for themselves and business. So good, thank you. Okay, coming across to Stan Bush. Last words.
My last words are, if you're sitting there and you're thinking that you need to join the Plus Your Business community, you need to just go ahead and everybody just come on down, and you're going to find a bunch of people there that's going to want to help you learn how to use Google Plus from all over the world, and it just makes me smile every morning. And I'm so glad to be a part of what you're doing there. Not just Martin, but everybody. So if you're sitting there thinking about it, come on in. You need to be there.
Great. Thank you, Stan. And coming back to the studio just for the last minute, Travis.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think, based on the comments, well done. This has been an excellent pilot show. So there's going to be a few more things that are going to be coming in the future, and maybe even visiting Travis and doing the studio, which I think is going to be a fun thing. And this technology, Travis is available to have conversations around it and to consult on this as well. And one of the things that we're doing within Plus Your Business is showcasing people's skills. So this is Travis and his team's skills. So obviously a certain amount, you can just pick his brains. But if you want the consultancy, then Travis is here and he can help you look at setting something similar up for yourselves and give you general advice on the Hangouts. So, Travis, last thoughts from you before we finally wrap up?
You bet. No, well, it's definitely all doable. And presently here in San Diego, it's really great and benefits small businesses and local businesses. And that's another aspect that I concentrate on here at Plus Your Business and with the community. And so taking these two realms and bringing them together has just been a really great match for me. And the technology and Hangouts is just a brand new passion of mine. It's so interactive, and it can really bring communities of all sorts together. And the potential that Plus Your Business has to bring forth the knowledge that you need to get around on this platform, because it is vast, it is big, and it's ever changing and ever growing. And so all of these different people amongst the Plus Your Business community, team members, and the things that we're all bringing together is worthwhile to stay up on and get involved with it. So thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you, Travis. This has been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. It was a little hang up at the beginning, but
we made it. So, well, last note from me. Thank you to everybody in the film strip. Thank you to Travis and the team, and thank you to everybody who's watching. You know where we are. We're in the Plus Your Business community, and hopefully we can connect further there. And check out plusyourbusiness.com/academy if you want to know more about the programs that we have that are going to be coming up very soon. Thank you all, and we may even have some music to play you out.